What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NYPrepper. In this video, I'm just going to show you how to install a turbo mouthpiece on early 2000s Duramax, specifically LBZ Duramax. So I got this HSP turbo mouthpiece, and this goes right into the turbo. This is the intake side of the turbo, and then this goes to your air intake. I already removed the factory plastic Garrett mouthpiece, which it's not bad, but the HSP is so much more massive, and I have it wrapped up right now to protect it from scratches, but it is just so much more massive. It's like 4.5 inches. So we're gonna get this bolted up. Here we have the factory V-band clamp from the turbo. I don't know when was the last time anybody took this off, but it is old. So we're gonna clean this up. There's my turbo right there. Okay, looks pretty good. I may just take some quick pictures of it before I put the mouthpiece back on. You can actually see, looks like a fuel line there was getting rubbed a little bit by the turbo mouthpiece. So you got to be very careful because there's wiring here. You got your vane position sensor wire, that white wire, and you got some other wires here. I'm not exactly sure where they go to, but you got to be super careful when you're working here so you don't accidentally rip one of these wires or tear off the leads or something. Got to be very, very careful. Go slow, be patient, and it will come out. The way I got it out was I clocked it up, so like it sits normally like this. If you're looking at your engine bay, you're not going to be able to just pull it out and like that. What you're going to want to do is loosen that band clamp all the way till you have like a 1/2 inch of lead, and you're going to clock it up carefully. Watch your wires while you're clocking it up, and then you should just be able to pop it straight out like that. Okay, so you want to clock it up vertically and take it out like that. And I loosened the clamp all the way until I got like just a little bit left, and that really helped me to get it out. But it looks like the clamp's in good condition. We're just going to clean it up and then reinstall. All right, guys, so I cleaned up the clamp. The clamp's in good condition. You want to check if there's any broken welds holding the outer band to these wedges, because these wedges are what clamp the mouthpiece to the turbo inlet. So the welds all look good, and I just used some WD-40. First I used brake clean. I dumped a whole can of brake clean on this, and there was still a ton of like carbon and soot and oil from back when this truck was not deleted, when it still had an EGR, and those sooty the sooty air was coming into the intake. And also before I rerouted the PCV, so it was like this oily carbon soot all around, as you saw. And maybe about 20 minutes of cleaning. I really prefer the WD-40. Did a fantastic job. Just want to get your red straw and just spray all. What I did was I sprayed the screw. I backed out the screw. I tightened it down, loosened it up like 2 or 3 times, and I put a bunch of WD-40 inside that screw to clean up all the carbon in there. So in the future, if I have to take it off, it doesn't seize or anything. You want to definitely clean these wedges here, and then you want to just clean like all around here, because all this loose carbon and junk that was on this, when you go to reinstall it, that could flake off and fall into your turbo, and then your turbo will suck that soot in, and that soot is very abrasive, so it can damage your turbo. So you want to just clean it all up, make it nice and shiny. WD-40 and a lint-free rag. So now we're gonna install the mouthpiece, so stay tuned. Just looking at the compressor wheel, just while we're in here, might as well take a look and see if there's any dirt that fell when we were removing the mouthpiece. Just check and see if there's any like large flakes of like carbon or anything sitting in there. So that's what I'm doing right now. Just checking the health of the turbo. Looks really clean and good. All right, guys, so I'm actually gonna keep this mouthpiece wrapped. I'm gonna try to keep it wrapped. And then once it's installed, I'm gonna pull it off. And I just use some painter's tape so it would be easy to tear off. This way it won't get scratched when I'm putting it in. I also already installed the boot here for the intake. And one thing you're going to want to do is get some dielectric grease. Get this large tube of tune-up dielectric grease. Don't get those little tubes. They're a lot more expensive, and it's basically the same thing, but the same price of a tiny little tube, you'll get this huge tube. So get this, and you're going to want to just take like 2 little drops of the dielectric grease on your fingertip and just run that O-ring through your fingers and get dielectric grease on this O-ring. Number one, it'll preserve the life of the O-ring and lubricate this joint here, so if you ever have to take it off, it'll be easier. And number two, it'll keep the O-ring stuck inside, because you're going to have to slide this in with that O-ring. So if you just try to put it in dry, it's going to fall out, but the dielectric grease will form like a sticky bond, and it'll hold that in. So let's try to slide it in and see what happens. Oh, and another thing I did, because I have a PCV reroute, I put this plug in here, and I used some of the Permatex liquid thread sealant. When you use that, you want to leave the first 2 threads bare, because what you don't want is you don't want like loose thread sealant that's going to dry and then flake off and get sucked in to your turbo. So leave the first 2 threads bare, and then put the sealant on everything else above those first 2 threads, and you're going to tighten until you first feel it that it like hits a wall. So you're going to, because it is an NPT plug, so it wedges, so you don't want to over tighten. Okay, typically with NPTs, the standard rule of thumb is you tighten until you feel it like hit a wall, and like very lightly you'll feel it hit like a wall, and once you hit that wall, just maybe 1 to 2 turns beyond that wall, and it's going to wedge itself and form like a nice seal. Okay, but you definitely want to use the thread sealant, and don't go crazy. Make sure to leave the first 2 threads bare. So let's put this thing in now and see what happens. And one more thing you're going to want to do before you put this in is you definitely want to, what I did was the night before, last night, I took a wet rag and I just ran my hand inside the mouthpiece with a wet rag, and just wanted to make sure there was no like loose metal or any kind of debris inside. Make sure it's clean. Keep the ends wrapped up until you install, so nothing goes in there. Like, you know, you never know. You have this thing laying in your house. Something could fall in there. You know, your kids could pick it up and play with it. You know, so bugs could crawl in there. I actually did notice like 2 metal flakes in there that were from the manufacturing process. So you're definitely going to want to just look through there, run a lightly damp cloth through there the night before, give it plenty of time to evaporate so there's no loose flakes or debris or anything like that. All right, guys, I think I'm done. I just got to do my final tightening and just checking all the clamps, make sure everything's nice and tight. But I think it looks super cool. Check it out, HSP right next to my hot side intercooler, and then I got the brake booster cover there, but I think it looks better than this. And it's aluminum. This is plastic, and these plastic ones are actually known to crack over time from the heat cycles, especially an older Duramax like this one. But check it out. I think it looks good. One thing I will say, it was hard to get this thing properly seated on the turbo. It was really tight. It's a big wire here, wiring harness, and just a lot of stuff in the way. So just take your time, do it slow. At one point I thought I was going to just give up and put the old one back on, but I persevered, and it's still not like 100% flush with the turbo. It's maybe like 1/8 of an inch off, but I really snugged it down hard. And let me just show you. I snugged it down hard, and it does have that seal on it, so the seal should take care of it. Let me see if I can get in there and show you. It's gonna be a little bit tough. Let's see. You guys can see that. I mean, it's like maybe just 1/8 of an inch off. I don't know if you can see that. Let me switch my flashlight around. Right in there. See if I can get in there. It's a little bit hard to see, but you know, it's not 100% lined up, but it's super tight. When I try to wiggle it, it's not going anywhere. It's tighter than it was before. I mean, it's rock solid. It's not going anywhere, so I don't think I'm gonna have any leaks. I'm not worried about that. One thing I do recommend is, you see this wire here? You're definitely gonna wanna clip. There's like this plastic retainer right there. You see that? It holds this wire down. I just cut that off because it's just, this is a larger diameter, so it's gonna be super tight trying to get it in. So I'm just gonna, I may reinstall that zip tie thing there in the future, but I don't see any issue with it just being the way it is now. So just be very careful of your wiring, guys, when you're installing this. And you know, once you're done, just give it a good wiggle. Make sure it's nice and tight. It's not going anywhere. It's rock solid. So yeah, I think it looks super cool, and it is a larger diameter than the factory. It's like, you know, probably 1 inch larger. So I think it's going to be a noticeable difference in the throttle response. So we're going to do a little test drive here. Got my S&B intake. So, you know, as with anything, when you're working on a Duramax, you know, it's never simple. See, like here, this is a little loose. I'm gonna have to snug this down a little more. This is a little too loose for my liking. I'm gonna snug that down, do final snugging of everything, check everything. But definitely want to wiggle. I mean, it's not going nowhere. It's tighter than the stock one, so I think we're good to go. I'm just gonna clean everything up. I gotta see if I can maybe reattach this PCV rerouter. I might just let it lay there like that. It's pretty, I mean, it's not going nowhere. It's pretty tight. I may just let it lay there like that. But I think it looks super good. Check it out with the S&B intake. Engine bay looks super good for the show season. I got a show next week, so I wanted to get this on there before the show. So yeah, I think it looks really good, and it's going to have some performance benefits. That hot side intercooler was a real pain to install. That was a pain. This was a pain too. Anything with a Duramax, if you're working on any piping, really anything, it's super tight clearances for everything. So just keep that in mind. You know, the instructions make it seem so simple, like, oh, just, you know, unbolt the clamp, remove the old thing, and then just put the new one on, you know. Yeah, it's never that simple. There's always something different. Every vehicle's different. There's always some wiggling you got to do. So plan for a couple of hours. You know, I was starting to get stressed out because the sun is going down, and I didn't want to have to deal with, you know, having a truck with no turbo mouthpiece on it after dark. But we're good to go. So we're going to do a test drive in just a few minutes here. All right, guys, so I snugged everything down. Just want to give everything a good shake. There's a little bit of flex, but you want to just really make sure that these clamps are nice and tight. You don't want to see like any gaps here. You want to give it a good shake. This mouthpiece, I mean, it is not going nowhere. You can, I mean, it's like cemented in there, so much tighter. I mean, it was actually loose. I've been driving with it loose for a while. I didn't even realize it was like pretty loose. The clamp had loosened up quite a bit. So I was driving and pulling 30 pounds of boost with a loose turbo mouthpiece, but check that out. Got the HSP logo on there. So we're gonna start it up and just listen for any vacuum leaks or or anything unusual. While you're in here, just be very careful. You know, you're gonna have to lay down over your engine and on the side of your truck here. So, you know, just be cognizant of the batteries. You know, you don't want to short circuit anything. You don't want to lay on your battery and have a tool here and then shock yourself or cause short circuits. You know, you should really lay down a towel so you don't scratch anything. Be cognizant of your sensors. Like here, you got a MAF sensor here. Just a lot of different sensors here. Okay, but I have no EGR, as you can see. So we're gonna give it a start. Also, before you go for your drive, just make sure you didn't leave any like loose tools. Like I have a tendency of just putting tools here when I'm working or up here. You know, just do a triple check. Make sure you didn't leave like a tool over there that's going to fall in and hit your serpentine belt or something like that. Okay, so just get all your tools out of the way. Just do a final visual check. Feel everything. Make sure it's all, I mean, this is not going nowhere. So we're going to give it a start right now. Moment of truth. And then we'll do a little test drive. But I think it looks awesome. Complements the hot side intercooler, and I really love this the S&B intake. This thing is awesome. Really good intake. Highly recommended. So easy to check. Got this clear screen. I think that looks really nice. Highly recommend that. But yeah, well, let's go for a test drive and start this thing up. All right, guys. So here's our moment of truth. I always like to say a quick prayer before I do this. Dear Lord, please watch over my work. Please make sure I don't break my truck and I don't have any issues on this Friday night. Here we go. Amen. Okay. Sounds good. Just listening for any hissing noises. I don't hear anything. Just gonna let it idle a little bit. Sounds good though. Check out my chicken lights there. I'm gonna be installing a rear bumper on this thing soon. I got it laying right here. Got this guy laying over here. Check it out. It's gonna be our next project. We're gonna put some red marker lights on the back of this thing. Some stainless steel, mirror stainless steel pieces. This is the Fab Fours Elite bumper. Can't wait, looks amazing. But let's just check and see if any codes popped up or anything. Sounds good so far. Okay. Sounds good. Let's just let it warm up. All right, guys, just driving on low boost, just cruising right now, listening for anything unusual. And then we're going to let the engine fully warm up. I'm taking a drive right now to the store and just keeping it under 10 PSI of boost, checking to see if there's any codes that pop up for vacuum leaks or anything. Usually it takes a little bit of driving for that to happen. And then we'll give it the beans on the way back from the store, and try to get up to like 15-20 PSI. My tune maxes out at 30 PSI, and it's crazy that I've been driving all this time with a slightly loose turbo mouthpiece. I couldn't believe when I went to loosen the band clamp. I mean, it was like, it was just one turn from being totally loose, and it was sliding around. And there was a little bit of play. So I don't know how I've been driving this long with no issues, but That's the Duramax for you. The old vehicles, you know, they can tolerate things like that. A new vehicle, if you had a slight air leak like that, man, you'd be getting a million codes. You'd go into limp mode. You'd be towing it to the dealer. The friggin' computer would shut you out. You'd break your ECM. I mean, these old computers, these old vehicles, you know, they were designed a whole lot differently. A lot more forgiving for little leaks and stuff like that. But yeah, so far I can notice definitely quicker turbo spool up, less turbo lag. That's one thing I just noticed right off the bat. From a dead stop, you know, there's a lot less turbo lag. It just feels a little more responsive. So so far, definitely noticing a difference. All right, guys, I did a pull up to 20 psi, no issues at all. I'm not getting any codes, no weird noises, so I think we're good to go. I'll probably do one last pull for you guys, and that'll be it for this video. So until the next time, check out my off-road and truck playlist for all my off-roading and truck videos. Stay tuned for more LBZ Duramax. I'm going to be going to several big truck shows this year. I'm going to the four-wheel jamboree again. Last year I won an award there with my supercharged Trail Boss. I'm going to be also going to the Carlisle Truck Nationals probably, and then next week I got Truckers for Hope, which is locally here in my area. That's a charity truck show for cystic fibrosis. So until the next time, take care, God bless, and don't forget the 3 Ps: prepare, practice, and persevere.